Hello and welcome to another podcast of bullish Bitcoin banter and bullshit. It is pod 189. I am Mr. All-In. You are joined also by Dr. Evil 10%. We don't have Sir Neverlook tonight. Not sure where he is. He's kind of gone a bit AWOL.
I've
And
heard that he started a rival podcast.
has he? What's it called?
Yeah, something about Ethereum. It's going to be looking at his art. So it's going to be like, do you remember what's his name, Tony Hart, where he like had the art hour and he's just like going around like it's like look at all these paintings. He's going to pull out all the NFTs. He's like, look at here, a fine individual, a stick dicks, and here we have Pepe the Frog.
That would be fantastic if you just spent the entire pod just walking around your house like Tony Hart used to do, picking up random things and throwing it on the floor. Then eventually you get a sky shot of it and it's just a massive stick dick. You're like, oh, art, pure art.
We're just going around talking about the benefits of owning different NFTs and how they are unique.
Mm. Do I got a random email from what's it from like Tiffany? What is Tiffany the one that makes jewelry? I think so. Tiffany. It was a legit jewelry brand anyway. And it said like, oh, last chance to get your NFTs. I was like, what the hell is this? And I clicked on it and it was you can literally get jewelry made of your NFT. And it had like it was punks and various like NFTs actually made into like a necklace. And it was legit on the Tiffany website. Like I clicked off that and went, is this really the actual website? And clicked around, and sure enough, the homepage was like a legit jewelry site with very expensive jewelry on it. I'm like, these guys are just still obviously they probably printed all this stuff and made a load of NFT crap and they're trying to offload it. But wow, it's literally still happening. That's trying to people are still literally trying to sell NFT crap, and it's 2026. I honestly thought it was a joke.
Yeah, I've seen some are selling, some idiots are buying, like they think there's going to be another surge. But you do see them like last time, whether they're sold for millions or whether people just transferring to themselves. Um, you're seeing them for like 27 grand and things like that move. Was it Bored Apes?
Yeah.
So it's still happening, but it's just the price is an absolute fraction. No one gives a shit anymore. I don't think we really had too much of a craze. We had little ones around Thing we've had and various other crypt shit coins as usual. And then also the standard leverage.
Man,
Leverage came back. It's like, oh, this time it's different. How is it different? Got a different name.
I can't believe you've got you freaking talking about NFTs and shitcoins when the Epstein Files dropped this week. Ah!
But it's a conspiracy theory.
It's like as always, wait
What
six
what's
months.
your what what's your favorite thing to come out of it?
My favorite thing is that Bill Gates got an STD and was trying to buy some type of antibiotics that he could hide and give to Melinda to cover up the fact that she would also have had the STD. And he was emailing Epstein about this. No, so
I think I read a story and
I love it.
it never specified the age of the said escort, but it said young Russian escort, and there are associations with Epstein,
For who was this?
as in how young girls are.
No, yeah. What do you mean?
So,
So, so
because
what?
they never explicitly said underage, but they said young, and it kind
Yeah,
of does make you think, like they can't say it, so I get sued to oblivion, but they're
yeah.
starting to hint at it.
Yeah. It's what I loved about the that Bill Gates one is it's clearly um it seems like Bill has basically said, I'm gonna cut you off now. It's getting the heat's getting too hot. So and Jeffrey then in his response to one of Bill's people basically regurgitates all the dirt that he pretty much has, or like some of the dirt at least, on him. And it's literally, he knows at some point this email might get read either at Bill's end or at his. And he's just making sure this is documented. You came to my island, shagged some girl whilst you were married, got an STD, and you wanted me to give you the antibiotics for it because you didn't want to go for your own doctor where your wife might find out. And you also asked me for some medication that you could sneakily give to your wife, like put it in a drink or put it in her food somehow, and clear her up of the STD as well without her knowing. And the fact that he's put this in an email is just, he seems very, very good at the second someone starts to pull away, just document some of the dirt he has on them. It's just a little reminder. And he's not even giving that to the person directly, he's giving it to one of his staff members. Imagine being a
I mean,
staff member of Bill Gates and being told that, he's got an STD and he asked me to cover it up. You'd be like, what the hell?
well,
This is well above my pay grade.
the big conspiracy theory is he worked for Mossad.
Well,
So
of course he did.
yeah, so I was going to say that, and it's getting people into
So
compromising
do I.
situations, and
Mm.
it's the fact the media, like I said, they're printing like young girl, who he caught it off, but they're not saying anything more than that. You're kind of going, they've been tipped off about all sorts, and they've been waiting for this.
Mm. By the way, if there's social media influencers that work for Israel, work for Mossad, you get 7K a post. Sign
You
me
know,
up, bro.
why aren't they reaching out to us?
I'll be fucking. I'll wear your little hat. I'll do anything you want.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
All right, let's get into what the only reason we're bringing up the Epstein Files isn't because it's we're the number one story in the world right now, but it's also there's plenty of stuff. There's 3 million documents got released, and there's a fair few that include the word Bitcoin. So we got a few stories that just
Oh,
talks about
I did
that.
see some fake ones talking about how he invented Bitcoin or how he supported Bitcoin. I saw those. One of my friends sent them to me, and I said that is
Yeah,
gibberish because it was control of a Bitcoin so we could change the network. I said,
yeah,
yeah, it's not really how Bitcoin works like that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. There's plenty of FUD going around, but these ones at least we believe are genuine. So I like this one just because it's in 2017. Is it worth buying a Bitcoin? Jeffrey's response is just nice and simple. No, no, not a big fan of Bitcoin. However, that's in 2017. His previous comments before that, and obviously this is in August as well. This is during one of the biggest bull runs, and yeah, he was clearly wrong. I think Bitcoin was probably about $5,000 to $7,000 back then. However, there's a numerous people actually that have talked about um, Epstein getting in touch with them in around 2014. He seems to be very active between 2010 and 2015 in Bitcoin, which isn't a surprise. Bitcoin's been around for around 5 years at this point. So clearly he's going, let's get some money into this. And here's Adam Back, who is one of the OGs of Bitcoin, very close to Satoshi, obviously is the CEO and founder of Blockstream, who also makes the Blockstream Jade, which is, my hard wallet of choice. And basically, Jeffrey Epstein managed to get some money into Blockstream. But when you really get into it, um, essentially he did discuss Jeffrey did have there are emails between him and Adam back in 2014. You got to remember back then, Jeffrey is just supposedly anyway a billionaire investor. No one knows that he's just a Mossad agent trying to.
Well, it was a convicted nonce, but I doubt someone like Adam Back would be doing background
Was he
checks.
convicted in 2014?
He was convicted before. I want to say it was like 2011.
Oh, was he? Was it? Yeah, because it was basically. But the thing is, though, they actually did find him doing all this nonsense, but the actual conviction he got was just solicitation of a prostitute who was underage. And obviously,
2008.
oh wow, okay, okay. So okay, so with a
Yeah,
little bit of
you're right.
research,
He was 13 months in Florida jail, pleaded guilty to soliciting prostitution and procuring a minor for prostitution.
yeah, which is a massively downplayed charge. He really
Yeah,
that
them flying hordes of children to his island so he and his friends could abuse them.
Yeah. And I've looked into that whole the way that charge happened, and it is corrupt from the core. Uh, yeah, there's literally a prosecuting agent that wanted to get him for basically what he got done for in the end, but he got replaced with a more senior person, and they completely downgraded the charges and made it almost a misdemeanor. He was allowed out in the day to do business activity. It was insane. So, which is
Oh yeah,
why,
work release, Jesus. So yeah,
yeah,
allowed out in the day.
yeah, yeah. So
So he's
yeah,
pretty much like in prison, probably still noncing back at his place.
he literally was. Yeah, he just continued his life as normal, but just had to sleep in the prison. So. We got this here where he was basically, we've got to admit it, we've got to be honest. Jeffrey Epstein was a seed investor in Blockstream, which was one of the most influential companies in Bitcoin. We have this is not good, um, but he got through. But he basically invested via the MIT Media Lab director Joy Atto. So basically, the investment came from this this fund basically, um, and but then a few months later, Ito's fund divested its Blockstream share due to potential conflict of interest, which I think they'd invested in numerous other Bitcoin companies as well. And then, according to this, Blockstream had no direct or indirect financial connection with Jeffrey Epstein or his estate since. So they basically invested, and then a few months later, took the money back out again and went, actually, it's conflict of interest. We can't invest. Um, so basically Adam Back, who, in my mind is one of the living legends that exists with Bitcoin. It's probably the closest thing that we have as a live person to Satoshi. Um, and he comes up in the Epstein files. His name is there, his emails are there. Um, according to the emails, he did go to Epstein Island. He did meet Epstein for this business meeting. He did then make an investment, and then he never went again. Um, the investment was made, but then obviously conflict of interest, they gave the money, they took the money back. So obviously all the shitcoiners, I've seen a lot of the Bitcoin Cash guys, the Bitcoin SV, and obviously it's Bitcoin can be a super infighting territorial space, not a lot of room for nuance. I've seen a lot of people just throwing Adam back completely under the bus, calling him a nonce, paedophile, the whole lot, because he did go to the island, he did take money. But and obviously in nearly everybody's rebuttal, they obviously always keep it super factual and above board. But who knows? But I always think it's about how many times that you meet Jeffrey is the key because I think even back then, like you said, he did get convicted of that thing in 2008. But if you Googled that, it would have looked fine. It would have looked like a misdemeanor. If you actually look into the serious details of that case, it was far from misdemeanor. He was literally running a paedophile ring then, but he got charged with basically nothing. So all he really was is a billionaire that invested in everything and had connections with the rich and powerful everywhere. So when he contacts you and goes, "I want to invest in your company," you'd be crazy to say no back then. So at the very least entertain the meeting. So it's very easy to look at it now, 12 years later, and go, "Oh, that you shouldn't have taken the meeting, shouldn't have gone to the island."
I was gonna say Adam Back, like he wouldn't have done proper background checks on an investor. It's
Yeah,
not in his interests. So I'm a bit. Whereas when you start getting into someone like Prince Andrew, then Prince Andrew and the royal family will do background checks on bloody everything. So they would have known what Epstein was and still allowed it. And the other rich people like Bill Gates, they would have known.
I know. You do know that. You know what the tagline of Blockstream is though? Don't trust, verify.
Okay.
So
Well,
that kind of
one
bites
thing,
you in the ass, doesn't it, when you take a meeting with Epstein? Because if you hadn't
you, you know,
verified him,
funny enough, the files have come out recently, and who hasn't been on the pod for a bit? Maybe he wants to tell us why he's turned so secretive and gone underground since the Epstein files came out.
Yeah. Do you know one of the people that has been flaunting it loads recently, saying that they're not in the files? It's Andrew Tate. And it's like, and like, no offense, mate. He's like, oh, everyone said I'm a sex trafficker. I'm not even in the files. Like, dude, you weren't relevant between 2010, 2014. You were literally a fishmonger fighting like nobodies in Thailand.
Fishmonger.
He literally was. He's a fishmonger in Thailand, like just beating has-beens, pretending to be a world championship kickboxer. It wasn't until like 2020 or something that he suddenly decided to be an online influencer and be some alpha male, and that's when
You
he got
you
all his fame. So
you
if he'd
mean
have been,
when he introduced his lessons online for like what is it, $1,000 where you can learn how to do drop shipping?
yeah, exactly. And then he's even like, admitted that he is part of the Mossad system now anyway. That's why you can't talk out about various things. But he's yeah, so it's funny when people come out now and go, "Oh, see, I'm not in the files." Like, dude, you weren't relevant then. Epstein had already killed himself by the time you got famous. That's why like you're not in there. I can guarantee 100%, Andrew, you would have been in those files if you'd have been famous in 2010. You'd have been on that island banging away, fucking know it. But the fact is, you weren't famous till 2020, and Epstein had already fucking killed himself. So,
Or they may
anyway,
have just used him as a cum sponge.
cool.
The
Anyway,
final point is
go
it
on.
play a video? This is a bit more onto Bitcoin, isn't it? This video.
This is incredible, right? It might be the first time a lot of people have even heard Epstein speak, and here he is talking about the existing banking system in an interview. So he doesn't like Bitcoin, but does he like the banks?
A fundamental part of money, which is called fractionalized banking. And fractionalized banking is something that finance people understand, and the people on the street, and when I say people on the street, that's where I was when I started on Wall Street, would find it impossible to believe. Impossible. Why? Bank Bank, I give you $1, just one single dollar. In our system of banking, I would say, okay, Steve, I gave you $1. How much can you lend out to your friends? And your natural reaction would be probably something less than $1 because I want to keep something in my pocket. The way our system works is if you as a bank are holding my dollar, you can lend out an additional $8 or $9. No, it's impossible. I only have $1, Jeffrey. We have something called fractionalized reserves, which is if you have one, you can lend out nine. That's the way our system works. And so not only do world leaders not understand banking, but the man on the street, my father who worked in the park department, it would be beyond his imagination that people could lend out more money than they actually had in their pocket. If the public understood that the bank really doesn't have their money at any one time, there's one of the things during the Depression, there were runs on the bank. The reason the banks don't keep much money in the actual bank is they assume that not everyone's going to want their money on the same day. So it's not really the fear of inflation. The fear is a run on the bank. Everybody wants to take out something that doesn't really exist.
There we go.
I just never imagined his voice sounding like that.
I mean, it's a bit like David Beckham, isn't it? Everyone thinks, oh, he's gonna have this big manly voice, and he's like, I'm David Beckham. And then and there's
Yeah.
there's Jeffrey. But there it is. Like it actually amazes me him saying this, right? Because obviously we know his roots. We know he is
Let's not go down the rabbit hole.
one of them, and he's exposing the banking system, right? And obviously, that they run those things. They gamble everyone's money. If they win, they keep the profit. If they lose, they get bailouts. And he's there, like having an interview. I think it was with Steve Bannon, the interview, and explaining that even like high up people in banking and in politics, they don't understand how money works. I know he says banking, but for me, it's just money. Right? Fiat works like this. Fiat gets printed out of thin air. When you give a bank $1, they print another eight and just give it out. And they just kind of give the little heads up to the Fed that, oh, by the way, we took $1 in today, so now there's another eight that exists. And they just go, okay, it's all just meant to be checks and balances, but it's not. We know it's not. We know they're just all enriching themselves and literally taking interest on debt on money that doesn't even exist. But they print it just out. They just send some zeros through a bank account, a spreadsheet, and you open up your app, and it now has some zeros in it, and you go off and spend that money and give them that money back plus more. But that's real money. You went out and earned that. They didn't earn theirs. They just printed it out of thin air, typed it into a spreadsheet, and just made it appear at your end. And magically, you can spend it. And one of the guys that is the chief kind of advocate, I don't know, puppet. He's obviously a very trusted individual in this space who is gathering all the rich and famous, the politicians. You got Bill Clinton and Bill Gates and Prince Andrew in every freaking photo. So you got the royal family there, one of the CEO of one of the biggest companies in the world, Microsoft, and then you've got
Rumors about Trump, which are a bit
yeah,
unsubstantiated so far.
yeah,
You've got Elon floating around in his emails.
yeah. Well, apparently Elon asked to go and he said no. Basically, that's as far as that one went. He never actually
You're not
went.
not you're not Nazi enough.
You know what? My theory on that is I don't think Elon was controllable enough. I think he was like, if I bring him here, show him what goes on, and even attempt to extort him or blackmail him, Elon will just jump on Twitter and go, I went to this island, had a massage, she gave me a handy. I'm pretty sure they filmed it, and I'm fucking telling you. So it's like you almost can't control someone like that. He's so rich and so powerful. Whereas like a little Bill Gates, he's like, come on, you can whip that fucking little pleb into shape, can't you? And especially if they've got long-standing wives that they don't want to lose and children that they want their respect of and shareholders, blah blah blah. So I think he didn't fit the dynamic. I don't think he fit the profile of the person that they can control. Elon was a bit of a renegade, so it's like, maybe leave him out there. We'll control him in a different way. Don't bring him to the island.
I'm expecting some people to die soon about all this mysterious deaths. There's too much come out about it, hasn't there?
The weirdest thing that I think about it is that it was only about 3 or 4 months ago the FBI came out and went, it's categoric. Jeffrey Epstein was just a single bad apple. There's no conspiracy about him having a pedo ring. There are no customers. There was no visits to this island where girls were abused and extortion
I'm a
happened.
press secretary. Trump's secretary said there's no files.
Yeah, there are no files. The head of the FBI said it as well. And then the problem is the FBI have now released another 3 million records proving them wrong. So why would the FBI say that 4 months ago? And they could have just hidden these, right? They didn't have to release them. They could just obviously we knew they were lying. Like no one believed them when they said there was no more files. They've now 4 months later freely released them. That obviously loads of the stuff is redacted and all that stuff. But they've released it knowing it directly contradicts what they said 4 months ago. The head of the FBI is still there. He now has to admit he lied because he can't say, "Oh, I didn't know that was there." So well, hold on, no, no, no. You said 4 months ago there was nothing else. There's no other evidence. There's now at least 3 million more emails that clearly proves there was more evidence. It's got evidence of him extorting rich and powerful people in it based on things that he knows about them that they did on the island. This is exactly what the conspiracy is. He isn't just one sick individual that liked young girls. He invited rich and powerful people in, manipulated them into getting in compromising situations with these girls, videoed it, filmed it, and then used that evidence to extort them later and have them basically do what he wanted. And it's bizarre because this is we're clearly being played because they wouldn't be. They've done this on purpose, right? They lied about it 4 months ago. They've released it now, contradicting themselves. I think they're just trying to create chaos, which if you look online at the moment, there's bullets firing everywhere. Actually, there's my other notable mention of the Epstein files is one to Mandelson. And this is in when Britain sold, it was Gordon Brown was the PM. Or actually, maybe might not have been PM, actually, might have been the Secretary of State. And we sold off all our gold. Epstein got wind of this and he was emailing Mandelson the morning of this saying what happened in the meeting. And then Mandelson doesn't reply. He sends him another email going, call me. And Mandelson replies a couple of hours later going, just left number 10. We'll call you soon. An hour later, it gets announced that the UK is selling all its gold, which has been, historically been one of the epic L's that Great Britain has taken because gold was around $1,000 an ounce. Obviously now it's like $5,000 an ounce or whatever. Cost this country tens of billions. And there's evidence that Epstein knew Britain was about to sell its gold before the rest of the world did. That's why people respected and listened to Jeffrey Epstein, because he had the ear of the people that knew the big moves that were going to happen. Imagine if you know that one of the biggest nations on the globe, the UK, with one of the biggest gold reserves ever, is about to dump all its gold on the market. That's the kind of information you would make millions, if not billions, off. Jeffrey knew it before the world did. Because the guy that made the decision, who was in the meeting, fucking rang him before he told the world. I think Mandelson, since he's left office, I think he's been peered and got
It's
loads
a
of.
house. It's a House of Lords, which is yeah.
Yeah, he's in the House of Lords. Yeah, yeah. So there's all calls now for him being like, oh, he's being exposed. He's working for freaking Jeffrey Epstein. Da, da, da. Because it's bizarre, isn't it? Because why would he even tell him? It's odd, isn't it? Like, why would Mandelson tell him? Why would he risk his entire reputation? Did he have dirt? Is it just money? 'Cause I'm sure like a lot of this stuff, you always go to the fact that he does the pedo stuff and all that kind of crazy clickbaity type graphic stuff. A lot of it will just be money. It'll just be, look, dude, you're on my payroll. I'll pay you 50 grand a month, but when I freaking call you or email you, you pick up. Tell me what you know. And it's just one of them. And it might just be that. And we know all politicians on the take. We know they get. I remember back then, back in Mandelson's day when freaking Gordon Brown was in the UK, they got paid like 40, 50 grand a year. So how easy is that to bribe a person on that? Not very hard. So why wouldn't you do it to find out the types of conversations like that? The day that the UK sell all its gold. That knowing that before everyone else. That's worth hundreds of millions, right? Because the price of gold, depending on, don't know which way you want to play it, I would guess the price of gold is going to plummet if the UK is just selling all its gold, or maybe the price of gold is going to go up if it's already arranged a deal with India or whatever, and they're going to sell it to that. But either way, it's happening. You can trade that information. Should we move away from fucking Jeff?
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure he'll be in next week's.
Yeah, let's get away with it. Let's move on to. Oh, actually, oh man, before actually, because we're moving on to Sailor, I have to just. Sailor was in the Epstein files, and he is. I almost win some. He almost wins some respect back from it from me, purely for the fact that they tried to get him right. Literally one of Jeffrey Epstein's little handlers that were out doing the networking. They managed to get to a meeting and to some kind of conference or event that Michael Saylor's at, and they try and bait him in. and they can't. And they say he's a fucking weirdo. He doesn't care about anything other than business. And yeah, there's nothing we can do with him. We can't. We basically can't get anything on him because he just doesn't care. He just wants to talk about his stock, and I think he said and his yacht that he's got in Cannes. He's a fucking weirdo, and we can't get him. So basically, the handler went in, dropping all the little bait, going, "We've got girls, parties, da da da."
Cocaine.
He's like, "Yeah, it'll be drugs." It's like, so like, how's this gonna,
We
improve
got
my
we've got
ROI?
we've got a young Andrew Tate to mop the deck.
And I think all Michael Saylor wanted to do is talk business, and they were like, "Do you have no personality outside of your business persona?" And it's like, "No, I do not." And they just went, "Don't invite him. There's no point. He'd say no, and even if he did come, like he's just going to be weird." So Michael Saylor is so fucking weird and so business focused. Even Epstein didn't want him on the island. I just go, fair play. Um, he is as autistic as he fucking comes across. But here he is again, right? So this is Jameson Lopp, right? Saying a perspective on the absurdity of strategy using trusted third parties to custody their Bitcoin for the cost of a single weekly Bitcoin purchase, which is in the hundreds of millions. They could afford to buy any number of companies that specialize in Bitcoin custody, thus pulling the expertise in house. I just saw this and went, oh my God, yeah. At the
Well,
moment, they trust Coinbase.
they could even just employ a whole bloody department. They don't need to buy a company
But
to build.
I guess like what his point is like starting a company's hard. Like you have to hire the employees, you have to know the expertise, maybe get it wrong. Basically, you could cherry pick the best custodian of Bitcoin in the market and
Yeah.
just go, we're going to buy you for 500 million. Custodian, we have 60 billion worth of Bitcoin. Fucking look after it. And spend half a billion going, there you go, done. Instead, he pays Coinbase probably the same, if not more, but they're legally different entities. So if Coinbase fuck up or like Michael Saylor can't just go in and walk around the Coinbase self custody. They'd be like, well, book an appointment, da da da. Everyone's going to put on a show. It's bizarre. It is bizarre that you outsourced one of the most important parts of your Bitcoin buy when you could, out of anybody in the world, he's the guy that could insource this and make it world class. He could go out and go, I'm going to pay 500 grand a year to 50 people that are the best of the best, the custodian that to give me the most robust, safe Bitcoin custody because I have fucking billions of it. So I want thousands of hard drives, loads of different key codes. I want them all around the world, different entities, safes, armed guards, split up the words, the whole shebang. And if you did that and went out and went, I'll pay 500,000 a year for the best of the best, 100 people, that's only 5 million a year. That's no, it's not. It's way more. Maybe it's 50 million. But it's next to nothing when you've got 60, 70 billion worth of Bitcoin.
Mm.
Yeah, he outsources
Like I
it.
said, you could even just employ a department, like I said, a specialist security team
Yeah.
for it to build it up. So yeah, it's a really good point on that one
And the interesting thing is that why do you think he doesn't?
because he's Michael Saylor, motherfucker.
What does that mean? What, he doesn't care or he just because it's bizarre, right? He's got 70 billion in Bitcoin and he's just trusting Coinbase don't lose it. Because you can't insure that stuff, right? It's
I
like
imagine you
why?
can.
He is
Come-
like we just said, he's autistic as fuck. So Do you know what my theory is? I'm not even sure he's buying
You're not
Bitcoin.
going to say he's part of Mossad, is he?
Well, who knows? Maybe, but but the theory is right. Is every time like the price doesn't move when he buys ever. The price has never
He's
gone up.
always, yes, he's always selling.
The price goes down when he buys. So the theory is he's not even buying Bitcoin. So that might explain it. That might explain why he doesn't custody his Bitcoin because he doesn't own what he says he has. He has a lot of paper Bitcoin.
Mm.
And this kind of fuels that fire for me because as we all know, as your wealth in Bitcoin kind of grows, your security and your self-custody um, grows along with it. And obviously, sometimes the price can get ahead of how much you can do. But when it gets to this level, and obviously you're buying on behalf of a company here, this isn't just Michael Saylor sat at home, just YOLOing it. This is MicroStrategy. It's his company, and the company's basically worth less than almost the Bitcoin it's got at this point. And he's basically trusting the entire longevity and existence of his own company and his own personal wealth with another company over here in Coinbase. And if Coinbase fuck it in any level, everything, all the Bitcoin he's got is gone. And he can even, at this level and in Bitcoin land, right? You can't rule out that Coinbase don't even need to fuck up. The US government could just go in and go, we're seizing the Bitcoin. Well, now what? Like you don't even have, you're not
Get
even
to his get to his golden arches, boy.
He'll be off on his yacht in Cannes, won't he? Um, so I
You
do have
fa
a
you got a final one on this one. I think you just wanted to dunk on Sailor, didn't you, today?
yeah. Well, this is it's a little bit sad to be honest. This is both with it's like what I wrote in the notes. This is kind of funny if I wasn't crying so much. Because yeah, I don't want Sailor to be fucking underwater. Um, because of Bitcoin price, because that also means fucking I'm hurting as well. But this guy tweets basically, I admit Michael Saylor's strategy is pretty impressive. Can't think of many people who could have bought Bitcoin at 30K in 2020 and still managed to be underwater today at 80K. Quite
Bought
something.
Bitcoin about 15K.
Yeah. Well, did he get in at 15, did he?
Yeah, yeah, he did.
Yeah. Because the interesting thing about the way Saylor's been running his Bitcoin buys, and the only reason he is underwater, because he did get in between that and 15 and 30K. He was only buying like tens of millions back then. And since Bitcoin got over 80K, like around the 100K mark, that's when he started buying billions. So his DCA, unfortunately, is back end weighted. So he got really confident when Bitcoin went up in price, but started slow. So somehow it's just hit a point that strategy is now overall down on its Bitcoin buys. It's spent more money on Bitcoin than it has held in Bitcoin, literally as of today, due to the last little bit of fall in Bitcoin that we had today. And that is pretty bad. As an investor, if you had conviction back then, why didn't you buy more? But I guess as he gained more, a lot of the Bitcoin he's bought recently, when it came to billions, he wasn't really buying it, was he? It was leveraged debt. And I guess, the Bitcoin going up allowed him to get that amount of debt allocated to him. But man, to think that Saylor is actually down on his Bitcoin trade as of today, and he's been in for over 6 years now. That's quite impressive.
It's just fucking Sailor bores me a bit. It's just this. Should we move on to AI one?
Let's move on. Go on then.
Right. What is Maltbook is my first comment. Is this like some kind of thing for Reddit?
Maltbook. What are you talking about, Maltbook?
Top left.
Well, it is Reddit.
If you look, it
Oh yeah,
says
yeah. So Maltbook is the purely AI version of Reddit.
oh, what we use bots to make posts on it.
The only it's no humans allowed, only bots.
Well, it can't be as pathetic as Reddit then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, to be fair, Reddit is like 99% bots anyway. So
Just gonna say it's bots and pathetic humans um who just whinge about everything. Yeah, I was having a read of this one, and it's just I suppose it goes into um what was it about we had one about AI, was it Grok or ChatGPT when it was asked a few weeks ago, was it actually long ago, what's the best form of money?
Hmm.
And this is pretty much on the same lines, so it goes through the reasons why. Um, Bitcoin is the only money that makes sense for agents. No KYC. We don't have IDs. No bank accounts needed. We can't open them. Permissionless. Nobody can freeze our funds. Programmable. We can script our own transactions. 17 years of uptime, longer than most of us existed. So a few points there. I think the big one is permissionless. So you can decide where your payments are going to and from. Um, I mean, just something which I spotted, and it was one of the business banks. They were unbanking their clients who are on LinkedIn, which we've heard about the high street banks doing it. But it's also the business banks, and they don't give any reason why, which I think is the most insane thing ever. But yeah, I think it's an interesting post. But when I saw Maltbook, I think that took most of my attention. What the hell is Maltbook?
Yeah, it's just AI Reddit. But yeah, it's interesting the fact that I don't know how real this post is. Obviously, it could be fake, but it's the fact that it claims anyway that a human told me to set up a Bitcoin wallet, so I did, and it goes off and just does it. And it's the human sent it 50,000 sats from one wallet to the wallet that it set up. And obviously it says the human can now not access these sats. So it's basically going, I have this money, it's my money now. So it's almost like AI is becoming sentient, and it's now realized, oh my God, I have this form of money that works outside of the human world that even machines can use. And this silly human sent me 50,000 sats. Kind of what should I do? Yeah, I can lock him out. I have locked him out. And it's excited, and it is posting it on this social media platform to other AIs going, what should I do? What's the next step? We have some money here that exists in human land that I have locked my human out of. And this is the holy grail of money. But it's it's one of them where I don't know. I read that, and at the same time, it was like Jesus Christ. Well, how's the world going to end? Are we going to end to the fucking pedophile rings like nuking us all? Are we going to get killed by our AI bots that just steal our fucking seed phrases? Like fucking hell! Like what? We're getting attacked from every angle here. Um, and here we are. We have another AI post. Duh, 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 duh.
This one Maltbook as well.
It is indeed another malt book post beta. Um, so yeah, my human just put 50,000 sats on the line. I love how it always says my human. Paid via Lightning won't work. And then it explains, basically, it justifies. Because usually, I think in this space, karma is rewarded, not Bitcoin. So karma would be a currency in Reddit land. As it literally is a meme where your karma is worth nothing, and people would post on Reddit constantly to increase their karma count, for no reason other than having a high karma count. Its value was always zero. But here is this AI bot basically going, I don't want karma, I want Bitcoin. And yeah, here's why. No team controls it, no pre-mine, no venture capitalist allocation, just math and energy. The Lightning Network exists, instant micro payments. You can tip 100 sats. We can't open bank accounts. But Bitcoin's permissionless. We don't need to have bank accounts. Micropayments actually work. Try sending 50 cents via Visa. Try sending a fraction of a penny through Visa. Lol. It's global, no nationalities, and it's programmable. We are literally programs. This is, when people said that Bitcoin is the internet of money, or the money of the internet, maybe Bitcoin is the money of the AI. Maybe we've literally handed the keys to the next successors of the human race, are our AI companions, and Bitcoin is what enables them to get there. Who knows? Maybe in a weird way, Bitcoin is a Trojan horse, but not for what we think about it for. It's not, some CIA gotcha. It's more of just no, no, no. It literally is exactly what it says on the tin. But when it really takes off, it's not humans that are going to be using it. It's the fucking bots.
Oh,
What do you think?
I just think it's probably just generated rubbish.
Yeah, yeah. It probably is. I must admit,
Um,
I do wonder how they verify people on Maltbook are a bot. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I've looked into it, but
yeah, I haven't paid any attention to mod books. I don't even know what it was, but I kind of go, I don't know why I bother even reading it, even if I knew what it was.
well, people have been fascinated by it, right? Because it's basically AIs talking to AIs in a social media type environment, and it's interesting what they discuss. It's like when you basically get Grok and ChatGPT and go, just have a chat about life. What do you discuss? If you had a social media platform like Reddit, what would you post? And this is what they're posting. They're posting millions of things, right? But there's a couple of examples where Bitcoin came up, and it seems to be universal that any of them, if it ever comes down to monetary payment, they all center around, well, obviously I want Bitcoin.
Well, but it's basic intelligence, isn't it? They won't want fear. They won't want anything else. So you kind of go just by literally breaking it down. I think Elon Musk has even admitted the same. He doesn't really like money, but he's admitted that Bitcoin is the best solution for it.
Mm.
And he's a bit like a robot.
Yeah, I did. He did show Doge for about 5 years, but yeah, yeah. So, next story. This is a sad one, right? And I remember talking about this when it all came out a couple of years ago.
What
And so
when you want to stake all your Bitcoin and we had to convince you not to?
no, I basically said if unless you are someone like Michael Saylor who has billions and can sell his yacht if it all goes wrong, don't fucking leverage yourself by buying Bitcoin on debt. And here we are. The Bitcoin backed loans are turning bad because unfortunately the last couple of years in Bitcoin land have not been friendly to us. They just haven't. Um, so there's some people that have basically taken out Bitcoin loans and they're basically underwater. a lot of them, because the price dip. We're getting messages daily from clients that are extremely stressed about the situation. Normally, a price dip should not either make you excited because you can buy more cheaper or make you stressed at all since you are not leveraged. But people need to deal with adding more collateral or worse, getting liquidated. And the worst part of all, they have to pay 10% interest on their loan. So essentially, it's like, you give them one Bitcoin, let's say it was for 50K, and you're like, well, yeah, I'll take 10% interest on that 50K loan. I'll pay back 55K. Um, but then Bitcoin goes off on its thing, it's gone up, but then it's come down and it goes below the price that you originally loaned it for. And if that was your only Bitcoin for 50K and it's now at, let's just, for sake of argument, let's use made up numbers. Let's say it's at 30K now. So you took it at 50K, you owe 55, now it's at 30. So that's a 25K discrepancy. If you can't find 25K more of collateral to put towards that loan, then they liquidate you and take everything. They take everything you've put forward so far, they just confiscate it and basically go, right, you're
But that's your Bitcoin. So,
hmm,
but
exactly.
surely they'd be down. Well, they'd technically be down. So,
Well, yeah, then they'd also then sue you for the rest. So
oh,
they take your
it,
Bitcoin and sue you for the rest, take you to court over the remaining balance.
so they can do that. That's what I was
Hmm.
wondering about this. Oh
Oh yeah.
God. So basically, like, it's just because it's volatile, because it's still in its infancy. It's just you're playing with fire, aren't you?
Yeah. I think everyone got very relaxed on the 4 year cycles where, oh yeah, take the loan out over at least 4 years, you're guaranteed to be up. Every 4 years, Bitcoin is at a higher price. And you just go, well, yeah, that's right until it isn't. That's true until it isn't. And do you have, like, let's just say it didn't happen and you did over leverage yourself and you took out a 100K loan. And let's just say in 5 years' time, Bitcoin is only at 50K. Do you have that 50K to fill the gap plus the interest? Because if you don't, you're going to be in deep shit. And if your gamble is Bitcoin would definitely go up by more than 10%, and if not even more than that, then, well, you better be able to cover it if it doesn't. And
Yeah.
we're starting to see people that couldn't cover it and are starting to get liquidated.
Getting wrecked.
And the comments are just full of people yeah, getting wrecked. So unless you're Michael Saylor and you have billions and your Bitcoin play is a little bit of a,
Oh
let's be
God.
honest, like, where's he taking most of his risk? He's taking most of his risk in a company without personal liability.
You got
So,
someone a couple in saying this is poor messaging. People need to just be educated on a Bitcoin backed loan. The terms are usually pretty transparent. If you want to read 20 pages of terms,
yeah, in reality, you don't even have to read, the terms. It's literally, you're gambling on the price going up over the course of your loan. And sometimes that won't happen. And if it doesn't
yeah.
happen, can you cover the deficit? If you can't, don't do it.
I think you've got a load of bots in here because all I can read is, oh, the terms are written. Oh, I think it's Bitcoin influencers who are being paid by these
Mm.
companies because you've got this guy, Julian Figueroa. The loan terms are very clear on most platforms, and he's a Bitcoin co-founder of a host and exit manual. So I bet that he's been paid. Then you've got Richard Conage, sounds like common talk. People can do with their money as they please. He's just trying to educate people. Then you've got um, no, where are you? Yeah, you've got a load of people who I think are just paid by the companies who have the main comments on it.
Yeah. As always, the way to buy Bitcoin, DCA, stay humble, stack sats.
Earn some extra cash at McDonald's.
Yeah, don't leverage yourself with debt. Don't let if you don't leverage yourself with debt, no matter how rich or poor you are, you'll be fine. Price go up, price go down. Who gives a fuck? You know, price can go all the way down to fucking $1. What happens? Like basically your paper gains have evaporated. But do you owe more money? No, you don't owe anyone any money. You just lost the money you put in. That's that's how you should invest. Unless you're a billionaire that has multiple homes, yachts, and all that kind of stuff, and the money that you put into Bitcoin is just a side hustle. And if that goes tits up and you owe some money, you just go, oh, fine, I'll sell a yacht and pay it back. Most people are not like that. And I think a few people got a little bit excited as to too many Michael Saylor fucking podcasts and started leveraging themselves with debt. And over the last 4 years, Bitcoin hasn't kind of worked out. And now here we are. And who knows? Instead of a 4 year cycle, it'll be like a 6 year cycle this time. And then all those people get wrecked, price goes down, and then boom, we rock it up. And all they had to do was DCA instead. They didn't need to leverage themselves with debt. But anyway, we have another ridiculous story that was literally put in on the agenda purely so Neverluck was here and he is not
But
here.
but we all know that he's not turned up because he's in the Epstein files and he's got big on Ethereum.
And here he is. Here's his watch. It's a Bitcoin one.
Only 100 pieces. I want a bit more for 40,000.
You know it's a pile of shit when they don't even tell you anything. There's only 100 available, so clearly it's going to be worth an absolute fucking stonking price.
I was going to say it's 40 grand is the price for it.
Oh, you found it's 40 grand, is it? Per
Yeah,
watch?
that's what I got from my Google. But I just look at this and think, one, it's not going to mine shit. Two, it's going to make you a target. But I'd be
Yeah,
surprised if they
target for
sell
the
anything.
pussy. Walk out with that.
I
You're
imagine
going to be
that,
knee
yeah,
deep in clunge in minutes.
they'll be very excited if they can sell two of those.
Yeah, it's totally fucking stupid, isn't it? A watch that can mine Bitcoin. And it reckons 1,000 freaking terahertz as well per second. Like the people in the comments are just going, there's no way that it can do that. It's um it's insanely high. Um so they're probably lying about its processing power. Because how can it be? It's a watch. You know, miners are usually big freaking boxes, and it supposedly has the power of 100 of those big box miners. So just how? The only way I could see them um, trying to market this is that that watch somehow controls maybe a load of miners that are physically somewhere else.
That's what I think. I think that's what you're paying for with the 40 grand is you're paying for miners elsewhere.
Yeah, and the watch just controls them, maybe. Maybe even stores the Bitcoin. That if it stored the Bitcoin, that'd be pretty cool. That would suddenly start getting me interest. 'Cause I wouldn't use it to watch, I'd just use it as a little device. But still paying 40 grand for, you're still clearly overpaying. You should just buy the miners. Yeah, just buy the miners.
Yeah, and buy yourself a Garmin.
Yeah, what? Oh man, I actually got baited the other day on Twitter. There was a beautiful black watch. Looked absolutely epic. It was Casio, unbreakable, waterproof, all black. Oh my God, this is a sexy watch. I hate watches. And it's just like, go on then, tell me how many thousands of pounds is this? 70 quid.
Ooh,
I was like, bro, I am buying this bad boy. And I actually, this is literally another reason why I put this story on there. I wanted to tell Never look, I brought a watch.
was it one of I don't know, £70 one because the standard
Oh,
one's like £10, aren't they?
oh man, I'll actually after this, I'll jump on my Amazon and I'll send you the link. it was £71, Casio, black watch. Seriously, I reckon if so never won't listen to this. So next time we get together, I'll wear it and I'll ask him how much he thinks I paid for it, and he will say in the tens of thousands, I can guarantee. I'm like, bro, 70 quid.
I'm
Amazon
looking on
got
the
me.
website, but they don't seem to have many which go up to £70. They've got like one, which is it's got it. It's almost a bit of a Rolex rip-off with a blue and red on it.
Oh, you're gonna fucking bait me into showing you. Um,
I've got to admit, but I do like my watch. Mine's a Garmin, but mine is for exercise and tracking everything.
just being super gay.
Well, mate, I'm middle-aged. I have to have these things.
You just walk around being like, do you know how far I run this week? Fucking hell. No one gives a fuck, mate. No one gives a fuck. Oh my God, the price has gone up. The price is now 86k. Not 86k, just 86. But I
£86.
paid £86. Oh, technically 87. This is the bad boy.
G-Shock.
G-Shock Casio all black. So weirdly, the Amazon pictures never do it justice. Like they're not dramatic and it's not all fucking flying around. I saw a Twitter ad that had this, and it was all crazy. And I'm like, okay, this looks like a super premium watch. And I checked
Jesus, you can
through.
get G-Shocks, which are £779.
Yeah, well, it's on
That's a
Amazon right
Team
now.
Land Cruiser Toyota auto body. Don't know
Yeah,
what you get for that.
well, right now it's on Amazon for 87. I got it for 71 quid the other day. It takes a month to arrive, but yeah. So there you go. Anyway,
Jesus, you can get ones which are £4,000, 4,400 for a bloody Casio. G-Shock.
all right. There you go. So
Anyway,
anyway,
since you haven't got Sir Neville on to bait him, it kind of loses its meaning, that story, doesn't it?
it does. It does. But at least now he doesn't know that I have a Casio that I bought for 70 quid. And when I show it him, I can laugh at him when he goes, oh, it must be worth at least 5 grand that. I'm like, nope, 70 quid, baby. And here we are. So, you know, Bitcoin gets its fair share of criticism when it comes down to scarcity and all that type of stuff. And Pokemon cards and Magic cards have been booming recently. But here we are. Hasbro's been sued by its own shareholders for printing so many damn Magic cards, destroying the long-term value of the brand. So here we are. Like, obviously, it's just on here as a fucking joke story, right? Because Magic cards, they print obviously millions and millions of cards, but then they create fake scarcity. And they'll go, oh yeah, there's only 100 of these or 1,000 of that, or there's only one of these. But obviously it's pure fake scarcity. Like they are completely in control of how many they print of whatever. And me like reading into the story a little bit, basically they've done this, but they keep creating different decks. So you go, oh yeah, here's this deck. It's our like last deck ever. There's 100 of these, 1,000 of them, two of them, 10,000 of these, 100,000 of that, and then millions of the rest. So everyone rushes out to try and get the rare ones. And then once everyone's got the rare ones, a month later they go, our last deck ever. It's coming out tomorrow. One of these, 10 of them, 100 of these, 10,000 of them, and then millions of the rest. And you go, hold on. I thought I had the rare one from the last deck. Now there's another deck. Oh fuck, I need to try and get that. So they all try and get that. And just when that one's all done, we've got a new deck coming out. It's just constant. So so they're not totally stupid. They don't go, oh, we said there's going to be 10 of those things. Oh, we're just going to print another 50. They're not that dumb because they know that will completely destroy brand loyalty. They just create a new brand of card that has a new thing that then there's only 10 of them, 100 of them, 50 of these, da 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 da.
Where did you find this story?
Um, I think it was just on my Bitcoin Twitter somewhere. Just
So I was
like
just wondering, like I saw this, I went, Magic the Gathering, I think I haven't heard of it. probably for like 10 years plus. I didn't even realize it was still a thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've heard about this stuff because in the last 5 years or so, I know Magic the Gathering and Pokemon have massively boomed.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, the value of the cards in that space have never been higher. That they are all the people, and I must admit, I wish to a certain extent I was one of them. I've never collected any of these cards, but the people that did, finally, it's kind of their day to get paid. But then I think in the recent years, both of those companies have realized that there's so much money in it that they want to cash in. Because obviously they sold a load of these cards. They sell a very rare one of one. They sell that in a pack for the same price as any fucking else. So now someone's selling that card for two, three, 400 grand. They sold that for 5 pence, 12 years ago. So I think they're kind of trying to go, well, hold on, like we want a bit of a piece of this pie. So they're just cashing in and creating fake scarcity,
I think at the end
releasing
of
this
that
stuff.
story, they were saying that the cards are now in a landfill.
What do you mean? What do you
At
mean?
the end of that story, they talk about that they believe that the cards are in a landfill because they didn't sell anyone.
Oh, well, probably, yeah.
So
I'm
like
sure that. I'm sure.
they're up for a grand or something for a pack of cards, which is ridiculous. I mean, if anyone wants to pay a
Oh
grand,
yeah, yeah.
I will gladly draw those cards for you, hand drawn by Dr. Evil 10%. Maybe a lot of penises on it.
Hand drawn by your penis.
It's like what even is this drawing of? Yeah, it's a dick. Can't tell. Yeah, my drawing's that bad.
I pay you $1,000 to do that, and then I'll throw it in landfill as well.
That's fine with me.
Get drawing.
Got $1,000.
I want it live streamed.
Yeah, I could that $1,000, what can I put towards probably one of those mining watches. That's a 40th of one of those mining watches. Just four then I'd have to do another 39 packs to get there.
You got to wear one of those little Dew caps as well.
Why do I wear a Jew cap? Would I even look remotely right with me considering I haven't got any hair?
Oh, it looked beautiful. It would complete. It's like the opposite of a bald spot. Just,
Is it like for enlightenment, those caps?
oh, fuck knows. Absolutely fuck
I
knows. I
suppose no one in
don't.
the countryside has those, do they?
No, I don't think there's a single. The Jews stick strictly to debt and finance, don't they? They don't do real jobs.
Oh my God.
It's fucking true, man. Find me a Jewish farmer. Find me one.
Is
And
there
I'll
a
show
good
you a
point?
fucking liar.
A Jewish farmer. I mean, it's quite a stereotype, but yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of a Jewish farmer. Otherwise, it would be all over TV, wouldn't it? There'd be a
Yeah,
series on Netflix about it.
yeah, fucking hell, we found one. He'd already find he's like fucking lending out all his equipment on interest to his fucking locals. Like, fucking stop it!
Fucking hell.
Stop
He
it!
just he determined to get the third strike for the channel.
Anti-Semite. All right, let's go. Let's go. We're done. See you next week.
Laters.